Here's a question that often everybody asks. How clean is your carpet? And could your carpet be making you sick? Well, it's a question we raised all around. If you're cleaning your carpet and the next day you're sick, could it be a fever or could it be something from your carpet? Well, the answer may surprise you as Inside Edition goes deep cleaning your carpets and asking a question. Could your carpet be making you sick? Here's Lisa Guerrero.
Could your carpet be making you sick?
Look at that water.
Social media is filled with video of all the gross gunk found after a deep carpet cleaning.
Oh yeah, nasty.
So we just had to ask, what might be lurking in the carpeting you and your family walk on every day? To find out, we visited Amanda Pepasino in Staten Island, New York.
I wouldn't be shocked if my carpet came up dirty because I have children who come around up and down my carpet all day long.
Amanda says she keeps a very clean house and vacuums her carpet daily. We put her carpet to the test by hiring Michael Milici with Da Vinci Cleaning to give it a good steam cleaning. Imagine her surprise when we found this.
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
We weren't done yet. We sent that nasty-looking liquid off to Microm Labs in Florida to see what's inside all that dirt. Fasten your seatbelt, sister.
Okay.
Your carpet had bacteria that comes from poop.
Oh my God, this is disgusting.
So there's bacteria that comes from fecal matter as well as one that can cause pneumonia and meningitis.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I'm very shocked.
Next up, Grace Leohap of Pelham, New York. She's a mom of 2 and a puppy named Panda. Do you pretty regularly clean your carpets?
I have to say no. Usually we will vacuum maybe once every 2 weeks or so.
Jessie Fudrini with Concept Cleaning did her carpet. What did the lab find living in that filth? We found your carpet had 2 types of bacteria that come from poop. Oh no! As well as one type that can cause pneumonia.
Great. That's awesome.
We showed our results to allergist Dr. Tanya Elliott.
If you have young children, make sure that your home is a shoe-free zone all of the time, and that includes wiping off your pet's feet too. They put a crumb in their mouth and they eat it, and then they end up getting really sick.
She also says it's a good idea to vacuum once a week with a high-quality HEPA filter vacuum cleaner.
And if you want your carpet to be really clean, steam clean it every month.
So the key words are this: vacuum your carpets once a week and steam clean every month for that perfect clean carpet. And if you turn out to be sick from that carpet, you can ask your doctor, and your doctor will help you out here. So there's probably no need to raise common sense about this, but really, you need to make sure your carpets are really clean. Really clean. That way you and your child cannot be sick. Because we don't want any sick children coming into the doctor's office because of that carpet. And then they're asking, did you clean your carpets? I mean, you might be asking, well, can I hire someone to clean my carpet? Yes, you can. But it's money that's going to be coming out of your ass. $1,000 down the drain for your carpet. And it's like this: me or your carpet. You choose me or you choose the carpet. But there's nothing to laugh about. Seriously though, clean your carpets, that way your carpet does not smell like poop. Rent it if you have to. If you rent it, then you gotta pay for it. Because I'll tell you something, if you have dogs that crap on your carpet and you remember what that smell is, you vacuum it. You vacuum that crap, and then you just dump it in the water. Videos all over social media are showing this, and believe me, I would love to learn how to clean a carpet. And even if I did, I would let you. Even if I did, it'd be an awful experience to show you. Maybe give it a break first, rather than that hoarse voice. I'll tell you about that at the end of the broadcast. Because really, that episode right there, that was one of the first episodes ever. Which brings us to our next issue. Think about this. You have hoarse voice and you're wondering, can you sing? with raspy voice? The answer, from me doing that for 9 years, the answer is no. Why? Because if you sing with a raspy voice or with hoarse throat, it's going to get worse. The key here is to rest your voice. Your voice is like a sizzling steak. Yeah, your voice, your vocal cords, are like this juicy steak. If you don't rest your meat, all the juices will come out. And if you don't rest your voice is going to have hoarse throat. It's going to get raspy and worse. So if you rest your voice for like a few days or a week, you'll have more singing control of your voice. Talk to your singing coach about this. We may have Tanya Colbert come. We may have Tanya C come here for our first broadcast guest. So the key word here is you cut the juice off the steak, it'll dry out. You keep on using a singing voice, it'll dry out. So always rest your voice. Always rest your voice. Still ahead, we're going to be swimming with the sharks with John Quinones and John Scott. But first things first, how hot is your shower? Well, Inside Edition is going to take a look at that. And also, can you survive underwater? Another Inside Edition story you will never miss. So please stay with us. Do you take a hot shower? Maybe at your house. Maybe even in a hotel room. We're going to be showing you some images of scalding hot burns from some bodies, and it may be disturbing to watch. You'll hear about the story about a grandfather who died after getting burns from a 150-degree shower. 150 degrees. So, what can be done to prevent this? Once again, here's Lisa Guerrero.
There's nothing like a nice hot shower, but ever get in and suddenly that water temperature is just way too hot? You can actually get seriously burned by your shower.
Pretty hot.
His grandfather, Alex Cronus, died from burns he got in the shower while staying here at an Econo Lodge in Erlanger, Kentucky, near Cincinnati.
This is the hotel bathroom where it happened. According to a lawsuit, the scalding shower that day hit temperatures of over 150 degrees Fahrenheit. That's enough to cause third-degree burns within just seconds of exposure.
These pictures show the searing burns he sustained over his legs after he was pulled out of the tub.
The water was so hot, so scalding, as he attempted apparently to back away, he fell. And they heard Mr. Cronus screaming, "It's burning me, it's burning me."
He spent 5 months in the hospital before succumbing to his injuries.
Had the proper measures been taken by the hotel owner, it absolutely could have been prevented. Did you check water temperatures?
I checked into the same Econo Lodge room where Alex Cronus was scalded.
Okay, we're up to 120.
According to the Uniform Plumbing Code, which provides guidance, 120 degrees is the hottest showers are supposed to get. To see how widespread the problem is, we checked into several hotels in New York City.
It's pretty hot.
Most were under 120 degrees Fahrenheit, but the temperature in this shower at the Shoreham Hotel reached 126 degrees.
It peaked at 126.
How dangerous is that?
You can get burned at 120 if you're just in there for too long, especially when you go up 6 more degrees. It doesn't take that much more to start breaking down your skin and causing damage and burns.
Allison Hall called the front desk.
I'm having an issue with my room and I just need to show them in person.
2 managers showed up.
I'm Allison from Inside Edition.
Okay.
We checked the water temperature in your hotel, and in 2 of your rooms we found them to be dangerously hot, experts say, at about 126 degrees. Were you guys aware of this issue?
No. Can we send engineering to check?
Sure, yeah.
But we never heard back. William C. Diamond is a master plumber with Diamond Plumbing and Heating in Livingston, New Jersey. He says it's critical that water temperature is maintained properly.
If you're in an unfamiliar place like a hotel, you might not realize which way is colder, which way is hotter. Is that how somebody could get burned if they don't know even how to turn it down?
Yeah, and that's one thing is you really need to get the temperature hot before you submerge yourself in there. If it's too hot, call management and say, hey, I'm not comfortable staying in this room, or can you send somebody up to fix the temperature? If these valves don't work properly, you could have a comfortable shower, then all of a sudden, a change of pressure. Somebody flushes enough toilets that now there's more hot water, and now you get extremely hot water like that, even though you thought you were safe.
It might also be advisable to check the temperature of the shower in your house or apartment. When we measured the temperature in our producer's apartment,
Way too hot.
the water was a scorching 142 degrees.
If it heads up towards 140 degrees, it's a matter of 10 seconds and you'll get a second to third degree burn.
Alright, here's a key point here. Always check your water temperatures. If you're staying in a hotel room, you need to make sure you know how to turn on those showers. Most of the showers that you see don't have the two knobs for hot and cold. They only have one knob, and you know how to turn it to the right direction for hot and the wrong and this direction for cold. Probably be best to check with your hotel manager, ask them some personal questions. That way they know you're very serious about all this. So you get to live to be 75 years old and get killed by a shower. It's absolutely unacceptable. It's like, I hate hotel showers to begin with. Their levers can be puzzles sometimes. It's always important to ask your manager, or even if you're in a special, always ask the hotel management. That way you'll know. Or, excuse me, you can ask a neighbor to help you out. Meaning the person next door that can help you out here. So it's really best for you to make sure that you know which shower you're pressing. That way you won't get those third-degree burns. And make sure it's under 100, and actually make sure it's at the minimum of 120 degrees. Like when you're making bread, if you're making bread or making pizza crust. The water should not exceed 110 degrees. Otherwise, it'll destroy the yeast. That's a good tip for you. Think about a hot shower like when you're making pizza. When you're making a pizza crust, pizza dough, or a bread. Warm water is key here. And always make sure you check your water temperatures every now and then. When we come back, a story about bullying from CBS 58. In 8th grade, after an 8th grade takes her life, her brother and best friend,
students across Wisconsin
have a message for those people that picked on that 8th grade student. And want more information about this. Then later on, people that survived the ocean and 2 shark tales. Please stay with us. Look, we're already into the 1 month of school. The first month. We already got through August. Now we're in September. And already there's more bullying going on. An 8th grader took her life. And now the family of that 8th grader, they want to send out a message. And they're even planning a little funeral. So, it's mental health. And next month is going to be National Bullying Prevention Month. You need to start sending out a message. So take a look at this story.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you.
for the family of Haley Gabrielson the past 5 days.
It's been tough. I gotta say, really tough.
Haley's older brother, Jordan, says last Thursday the school resource officer took he and his younger brother out of class. They were told they had to go home.
My dad told me that my sister committed suicide. I broke down. At first I was like, it can't be true.
It was true. Haley had taken her own life on the 3rd day of her 8th grade year.
She would definitely be my best friend.
Ava Thrasher, also 13, did not see Haley as often after moving to Kenosha, but both she and Jordan say Haley did not hide her emotions. Because of that, they say people would purposely push her buttons.
They definitely tried getting a reaction out of her. I think that they wanted to do it to make her upset and make her feel unwelcomed.
I guess some people think it's funny when you pick on someone and their temper gets like they have a big temper and they get angry quick.
Haley's death has shaken this town of about 23,000. Over the last few days, the Watertown community has rallied around the Gabriel since Schuetz on East Main has announced they're giving 100% of their profits this Saturday and Sunday to the family.
Even though I don't know the family, it's still in our hometown. This is part of the community. These are people who support me, and I think in that support, and that's it. I feel a responsibility to also support them as well.
After losing someone to suicide, people will naturally wonder if there's something they could have done differently.
Oh, that's a hard thing about. It's like, I try to show her love. Like, I try to convince her not everyone hates her.
I wish I could have found her number and so I could talk to her and figure out what she was going through and see like how she was feeling.
Those closest to Haley have a message for any young person who might be having similar thoughts.
If you're ever going through a super hard time, like really hard, you should always tell it a trusted adult.
It doesn't need to be your mom or dad. It can be like your teacher. It could be a friend. And like, it can be anyone. Like, someone will help you. I promise you.
Haley's funeral will happen on Friday. The Watertown School District told us in a statement it is deeply saddened by Haley's death, and it reminds any other students struggling with grief or any other challenges to reach out to the district's mental health coordinator.
Yeah, please reach out if you are struggling. And I think it is a very, very scary and top of mind topic for parents, especially to AJ. Any advice there? Did you pick up anything on what parents should do and how they talk to kids?
Yeah, it was interesting talking to Porfirio, the business owner who's doing the charity event over the weekend to raise money for the family. And he talked about how, he may not have had a connection to the family, but I think anyone with kids in their life, this serves as a reminder to just have a conversation, just a reminder to be very mindful, because just like Ava said, you may not realize it, but something that you say can be very hurtful, and a lot of young people especially need to hear that message again and again.
Yeah. Very difficult but very important thing to discuss. AJ, thank you. Well, and if you or someone close to you is having suicidal thoughts and needs help and support, you can call or text the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline at 988 at any time of the day or night. The calling is free and confidential, and there will always be someone there to talk. In an emergency situation, call 911.
One of my main goals throughout these 8 years of this broadcast is to stop bullying, speak up. And this is one of those stories that's going to be on the Stop Bullying Speak Up page. It's like I talked about. If you want a little more information about how you can deal with bullying, visit our newsletter at givemeabreak.substack.com with videos and some hints and tips and a story. And even you might be asking yourself, why didn't the school district do enough? That story was on Dangerous Hallways. It was a story about the three victims who were being picked on who were being bullied. And the school's response is, hey, we can't keep your daughter safe, but we will provide your child with homebound school. So they suspended the victim. So the spotlight was back on the victims, and now the parents are wondering what's going on. All right. Now to a story that you'll only see on this broadcast. And it's a first. This next story is about surviving this is a story about going diving after surviving and being stranded in the ocean. Now think about this. You and your wife are thinking about swimming in the ocean, and you come up with a challenge saying, how long could we be out here in the ocean for? Not knowing there could be dangerous creatures and out there in the water, like sharks. But you're about to meet a couple who says they went diving after surviving being stranded in the ocean. So how could this ever happen? Let's take a look.
It was a nightmare at sea. Those two specks floating in the open ocean are husband and wife scuba divers who were lost at sea after strong currents separated them from their dive boat. It was like a scene out of the movie Open Water.
I did not want to be afraid of diving, so I intentionally did not watch that movie, and then we ended up living it.
For nearly 40 hours, Kim and Nathan Maker treaded water as waves and bad weather lashed at them.
We're frustrated, we're tired, we're dying of thirst, but we're not going to give up, so we kept swimming as best we could, and we saw the plane.
Then a miracle. This Coast Guard search crew spotted them and came to their rescue.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a light flashing through the window at us very frantically.
After their brush with death, most of us might never want to go diving again, but not Kim and Nathan.
We're anxious and ready to go.
Inside Edition was aboard with them exactly a month later on a guided dive in the waters off West Palm Beach. First, the captain of Dive Time Charters briefed them on important safety procedures.
In the event you guys find yourself separated at any point in time, you're going to follow the lost buddy procedure. When it's safe to do so, I'll come pick you up.
Then they geared up to confront their fears.
But there's always a little bit of hesitation, a little nervousness every time we do a dive.
Not taking any chances, they also donned a special rescue GPS device. A dive flag was put out to warn other boaters. Then it was time to finally return to the depths.
With me, sometimes I feel like I'm invincible. You know, you always think like that happens to somebody else, not to me. And so I do know, like, when we went missing, and as soon as the boat was completely out of sight, I remember thinking inside, oh no, this is how movies start. Not good movies. So thankfully, you know, thank God our movie's gonna be great.
And look what they encountered. Sharks, a whole bunch of them. Kim was so fearless, she even gave one a back rub. When the dive was over, they found themselves on the surface, floating, waiting for their dive boat to pick them up.
The diving was great, but then sitting on the surface of the water again, just floating, I did not like that. Like that took me back to a very bad moment, and it's like, yep, I'm done with this. I get back on the boat. I don't want to do this anymore.
Today, the makers say they are grateful they were able to get back into the water and return to doing what they love most.
I just wanted to conquer that fear. Fear does not have to overpower you.
I think this made us stronger as a couple and individually. I don't know. I mean, that's definitely another bond that, you know, you can't break.
Some good points. Some really good points. Don't even think about diving with the sharks, otherwise you could be eaten. Coming up, 2 stories about sharks. One from John Scott and one from John Quinones. Please don't go away. Alright, moving forward from diving, sharks. Those vicious predators you don't want to go near. You don't want to go near. Basically, we're doing 3 stories all about the wondrous sharks. You're about to meet a man who says he loves those sharks. And he even swam with the sharks. Would you love something and then want to swim with it? Well, hear what he had to say. Here's John Quinones.
For as long as man has known the sea, he's been fascinated by the masters of this kingdom underwater. They've been around for 400 million years, long before the age of dinosaurs. They are sleek, fast, majestic, and vicious. The world's most efficient eating machines. Just listen as this nurse shark literally sucks a meal off the ocean floor. And watch as this Caribbean reef shark uses its 300 razor-sharp teeth like a hacksaw.
They're serene and serious. They never play and they never smile.
Dr. Samuel Gruber is one of the world's best-known experts on sharks.
You can see the evolutionary process at work by looking at a shark. And you can look into a shark's body and eye and you can see the 400 million years.
Sam Gruber should know. He's been studying sharks for more than 30 years. Born in Brooklyn, he grew up on Miami Beach. He studied medicine and ballet. But while swimming one day, he had a close encounter with a hammerhead shark. His fascination led to a career in marine biology. So he went to the Bahamas and the island of Bimini.
With their marvelous tooth structure, they can cut up a sea turtle.
He built a research laboratory for the University of Miami, where every year students and shark biologists study marine life.
Thank you.
The lab is a family affair. Gruber's wife Marie does the cooking.
Each boat should have a set of tail ropes, like a tail and mid.
Right. Daughter Aya is the first mate. She's inherited her father's love for sharks. After all, he taught her how to swim with them.
I feel comfortable in the water with them because I don't feel like it's prey item.
She's been doing this since she was 6 years old.
I think it's just that they're misunderstood because they're really incredible and beautiful animals.
Her father says you can't really understand sharks until you get to know them. And so he made us an offer.
Well, we would like you to get a feeling for what a shark is in its natural environment, not one that's been caught on a hook or one that's held upside down or one that you see from the boat, but actually get down there and see them move, see their grace, see their form and their beauty, and feel the fear, and then feel that go away. And you will be a believer after that.
5 miles off Bimini, we suit up for a journey undersea. And Gruber has some last-minute advice.
Oh, you will be frightened. You'll be very frightened. But you will have plenty of protection. And don't forget, and this is the most important thing, sharks stayed served to me. So I'll be right next to you. You got a full face mask here? Yeah.
We'll communicate through special masks equipped with underwater microphones.
Yeah, positive pressure still, so all you got to do is inhale, that'll get the air flowing.
Unlike most shark dives, we will not use protective cages. Gruber doesn't think they're necessary. We enter a world few people ever get to see. A world where moray eels and angelfish play among the coral. This is home to the rare hawksbill turtle with its camouflage shell, and the magnificent eagle ray taking wing as if airborne. As we marvel at the life and vegetation below, on the surface, scouts from Gruber's laboratory are scanning the waters for sharks.
Dr. Gruber's assistants are dropping down bait, in this case yellowjack, from 30 feet above, in an effort to attract the sharks.
With their remarkable sense of smell, the sharks pick up the scent almost immediately.
Let's just back up a little bit to let them get to the bait.
At first, they approach tentatively, circling from a distance, checking us out. Typical shark behavior. But within minutes, they close in.
There he is, right there, took a bait, right there. He's sitting around, right here. All right. Here's the nurse shark right here.
Make that 2 nurse sharks, a slow-moving species that feeds off the ocean's floor. Behind them, an 8-foot Caribbean reef shark, one of the most common in these waters.
Here it comes. Look at this guy. Unbelievable. 6 feet away from us.
It's my first face-to-face encounter with these predators, but soon fear gives way to fascination, and we get a closer look. There's a lemon shark, named for its yellow underbelly. And there's a black tip with its darkened fins, so fast and bold that he scrapes our camera. Before long, we're even coaxing a baby nurse shark out of hiding.
Everybody thinks of sharks as indestructible creatures, but that's why nobody has much studied them, because you can't take one out of its environment hardly and put it in the lab. They die. They physically require no boundaries. They're more afraid of us and shy of us.
That was what was amazing to me, that they came 3 feet to my right and he just went right past me to the bait.
And that the nurse sharks would let you go up and scratch them on the head with the little billy club and such, but they're interested in the food. They're really not interested in us, and that's where the general public, makes the mistake. That
you seem obsessed by sharks.
It's true. It's true. I am. I owe them something. I owe them everything. They taught me a lot, and so I became obsessed. And the obsession went to completion, to like missionary zeal, when the killing started.
The killing. At least 100 million sharks have been slaughtered every year since 1986. Killed for sport or for delicacies like shark fin soup.
Sharks all over the world began to disappear just because people wanted to cut off their fins and make soup out of them. It's like killing flamingos for their tongue and just throwing the beautiful bird away. They're no different.
Consider how slowly lemon sharks reproduce. They breed a lot like humans. Mother nurtures baby through a placenta and then gives birth to one litter of about 10 pups every other year. Gruber's research shows that only 25% of them survive. With such a high mortality rate, there's no way they can keep up with the slaughter. Today, about a third of all shark species are endangered. The only way to save them is to learn as much as we can about the way they live.
Sharks feed everywhere, even in these shallow waters this close to shore. And that's why Dr. Gruber and his students are focusing their latest study here, tracking the habits of young lemon sharks. And as if handling these predators wasn't difficult enough by day, they do it at night.
The research crew begins their work at dusk, laying fishing lines baited for lemon sharks.
Okay, let it go. Come it away. Come on up. Ooh.
It's big.
It's big.
It's really big.
As part of this study, the team measures and tags each shark with a transmitter to chart its growth and movements.
This shark can reach up and bite your face just like that. I'm not kidding. I'm really serious.
No one knows more about lemon sharks than Sam Gruber.
Lemon sharks are nasty. Now, I love them dearly, but they are, in many ways, like a mad dog. When you get close to them, they'll snarl, and they'll look at you, and they'll be steady, and boom, they'll get you just like that. And they will try to bite you. They will aim a bite at you.
We find out just how dangerous that very night.
What is that?
It was a close call. Gruber has handled thousands of sharks and has never been bitten. The young female is tagged and released. The transmitter under her skin now helps the researchers keep track of her.
Well, it took off like a bat out of hell.
All right. Yes. All right. Good job. As far as Sam Gruber's concerned, the work is far from over. Most mornings, you'll find him just offshore in Bimini, carefully checking his fishing lines, catching sharks so that they may live.
An ocean without sharks is a sick ocean. The ocean, for more than half of the existence of life, for 500 million years, has had sharks. That ocean needs sharks to be healthy. We just cannot destroy them with impunity.
If you like to scuba dive or snorkel, don't even think about trying what you saw tonight. Sharks are powerful animals, and only a trained expert like Sam Gruber is qualified to take you near them.
Ask him, and he'll take you. That's common sense. Don't do it by yourself. You do it by yourself, yeah, you lost an arm. There you did. All right. John Scott has another shark story, and then a Dateline, the Discovery Channel exclusive from Steve Daniels. Stay with us. now we're going from Florida to California, where the great white sharks are happening, and every diver's worst nightmare. Could you ever imagine as a diver in California wanting to go near the sharks because you're afraid, like, oh my God, it's the shark! I don't want to go near it. I want to see it from afar. Well, you're gonna meet some California divers in California that might have you scareless. Here's John Scott.
The great white shark, silent savage of our nightmares, lurks just beneath the ocean's surface.
Let's just put it up on edge.
And on that ocean, under cover of darkness, John Capella and his crew work quickly. Capella is concerned. He knows there are people who want to shut down his operation, which brings divers face to face with great white sharks. He hides the shark cages from prying eyes. And the expedition heads out to sea in search of the ocean's most feared predator.
Down, get it down, get it down, get it down!
The following morning, Capella struggled to set his shark cages off a point on the central California coast called Año Nuevo.
I don't want to fall in with those great whites.
For divers and camera crews, including Dateline, Capella charges $1,000 per person, 3 days at sea, and the chance to stare down a great white shark.
From a diver's perspective, conditions out here are miserable. The water is choppy, and the temperature a bone-chilling 54 degrees. Visibility is only 10 to 15 feet, so there's really nothing to see. The only reason these divers have come out here is that they hope to encounter the great white shark, and there are no guarantees.
Before Capella, divers wanting to get close to a great white were forced to pay 10 times as much for trips to Australia or South Africa. So how does Capella attract the great whites? Chum, an unsightly and vile-smelling concoction of ground-up fish, is gradually added to the water to entice the sharks. In the process, he's creating a firestorm of controversy, because on each trip, he's dumping more than 2,000 pounds of chum into the waters of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, just a mile and a half from the nearest surfing beach.
Sharks are known to attack people when they're hungry. Capella, by using his chum, sounds the dinner bell for the sharks.
Tim Loomis of the Surfers Environmental Alliance is outraged.
He's conditioning them to respond to a stimulus. At the end of the stimulus, when the sharks come up, every time they follow that chum scent, that slick scent, what do they see at the end of the line? Surfers, or people in wetsuits. And I do not, for one, want to be sampled by a great white shark.
Año Nuevo is an ominous marker of California's red triangle. Draw a line from Año Nuevo to Bodega Bay, onto the Farallon Islands, and back to Año Nuevo. In these waters over the last 20 years, there have been more great white shark attacks than anywhere else in the world. Since 1952, sharks have attacked 69 people along the California coast, and 7 of those victims died.
This is almost ready.
But all those attacks happened before John Capella started chumming these shark-filled waters. Good God, that guy's huge. And on his very first great white charter, Capella delivered, giving the divers on board the experience of a lifetime.
Tell me all about it. Big silver beam looking up.
Really?
Deep down. Oh, man.
Surfers were livid, convinced Capella was endangering their lives by chumming too close to shore, and were astounded to learn he was also using cow's blood and lamb legs to lure the great whites.
Hey, he's a meat eater, man. He wants that stuff.
But now, partly as a concession to his opponents,
no mammal blood. No mammal blood.
The sharks come to the waters off Año Nuevo because their favorite food comes here as well, seals and sea lions. The largest of these, the elephant seal, can weigh more than 4,000 pounds. For a great white shark, that's dinner.
Woo-hoo!
Capella refuses to accept the suggestion that he's endangering anyone. especially those who choose to surf in one of the great white's prime hunting grounds.
I am not providing any additional risk to anybody. If they are using that area, they are definitely jeopardizing their lives.
But the surfers don't see it that way. To them, Capella is unnecessarily increasing the odds of attack in a place where they are already particularly vulnerable.
Surfers certainly are at risk wherever there are sharks.
John McCosker, a marine biologist specializing in sharks at San Francisco's Steinhardt Aquarium, is convinced that chumming increases the danger already present for surfers.
What is it about guys with surfboards and bodyboards that puts them at risk? Short, very maneuverable surfboards and belly boards have made our profile, as seen from below, that is the white shark's point of view, look a lot like an elephant seal. And it rushes up and takes a big bite out of it and discovers that we weren't an elephant seal.
I looked at my leg and I could see the shark had basically consumed my entire left leg in its mouth.
In 1991, Eric Larson was attacked by a 16-foot great white. He'd been surfing just 10 miles south of the seal colonies at Año Nuevo. Larson nearly died on that beach. Surfing and scuba diving remain an important part of Eric Larson's life, and he is dead set against Capella chumming for great whites.
I think it's purely a case of someone who's making some money, and he's doing it in a way that puts other people at an unnecessary risk.
But surfers are not the only ones determined to stop Capella. Kayakers, windsurfers, and abalone divers also see him as a threat to their safety.
I think it's wrong, and I don't think they ought to do it.
Rodney Orr is an avid abalone diver.
But the sharks are in the water already anyway. Yeah, but he's conditioning them.
Orr has been attacked, not once, but twice, by great white sharks.
And all of a sudden, bam, and he had me in the head right like this. It buried the bottom teeth into my face on the side, and the top teeth were in the back of my neck. All I heard was a crunch when he went through my face.
Capella envisions as many as 20 trips a year up and down the California coast. That thought incenses Tim Loomis, who fears John Capella's operation is only the beginning.
It would create a huge backlash of people wanting, hey, I'll make a quick buck. Screw the people out here, screw the system, screw the whole ecosystem. I want to make money. Since when is it wrong in America to make a buck? But more importantly, you know, I'm trying to provide something for people.
Capella says he is providing a way to educate people about this essential predator. Despite his best efforts with chum and seal-shaped lures, Capella cannot always come through. On this trip, no sharks. But Capella won't be deterred.
1, 2, 3.
And he will be back. To those who say he is a menace, Capella says, don't blame him. It's the surfers who are serving themselves up to the sharks.
There is going to be a shark attack on a surfer. If they continue to recreate in that area, they're asking for it.
Capella's opponents are asking the federal government to step in to stop it. But Capella says he'll go to court to fight any new rules and even force a confrontation at sea if he has to.
Look, if he's thinking about hurting the surfers, then he's threatening them. That's just my opinion anyway. Coming up, the final shark story from Steve Daniels. A Dateline Discovery Channel exclusive you won't want to miss. Please stay with us. Time to go back into the deep again. We're still focusing on those sharks. And now you're going to meet a man who even knows about sharks by just looking at the fossils of those sharks. Even those. Those are the ones you probably don't want to go swimming near. Here's Steve Daniels with this Dateline, with this Give Me a Break, Dateline Discovery Channel exclusive.
That set of jaws coming at you at faster than you could ever hope to swim would be absolutely terrifying. They were the kings, the super predators. There's simply nothing to compare with them.
Brett Kent is a shark hunter, a very special kind of shark hunter.
I think I'm like a little kid.
Kent doesn't stalk them in the ocean depths. Instead, the University of Maryland paleontologist tracks his prey using fossils found here in what used to be the ocean,
a long, long time ago.
Got a tooth. We kind of get to write our own rules, but you get to play in the dirt and not get in trouble for it.
From peaceful farmland in Maryland to barren phosphate mines in North Carolina and these cliffs on the Chesapeake Bay, Dr. Kent is making some amazing discoveries.
And so we could have been walking along here and looked out and seen a fin 6 or 7 feet high come out of the water.
A shark with a fin 6 or 7 feet tall.
Yeah, it's absolutely immense sharks. Compared to anything we have today, there's nothing like it. Probably twice the length of a modern great white.
Those immense creatures that once roamed the oceans of the world are ancestors of modern-day sharks. Those prehistoric sharks vanished 3 million years ago, leaving behind only teeth and pieces of jaw. But Dr. Kent says those fossils provide a picture of a shark so huge, so ferocious, they make modern-day sharks look like sardines. It was an incredibly powerful predator, a monster called Megalodon, 55 to 60 feet long, the size of a city bus, and weighing 20 to 25 tons, more than 4 full-grown elephants.
There was nothing in the oceans that could directly compete with a full-grown Megalodon.
It sounds like they make Jaws look like a teddy bear.
Jaws would have been a small shark compared to them. You know, a juvenile Megalodon was about the size of Jaws.
We all remember those Jaws from Steven Spielberg's 1975 movie. They've been frightening beachgoers for more than 20 years. Just imagine what our summers would have been like during the days of Megalodon.
Swimming offshore, surfing probably would be very dangerous. Boating in small boats offshore would be clearly very dangerous.
Hollywood loves big, vicious monsters. Why hasn't the Megalodon had a starring role in a Hollywood movie?
Hard to say. It may, and it may make a good monster movie.
This real-life monster of prehistoric time wasn't just mean, but as seen in this Discovery Channel animation, it was also very hungry, with an appetite to match its size.
My guess is they probably ate whales much of the time. Fossil whale bones have large numbers of absolutely horrendous gashes in them that only could have come from Megalodon.
This is the proof. A tooth, Dr. Kent says, came from a Megalodon, at least twice as big as a tooth from a modern-day great white shark.
This is the size of the tooth in the shark in Jaws.
This is what Jaws had.
This is a Megalodon tooth.
This is unbelievable. This is almost the size of a hand. And these things had a mouthful of these.
A mouthful. They would be like a big, mean torpedo with jaws.
Jaws filled with 250 of those giant teeth, coming at its prey fast. Kent says Megalodon probably moved through the water at more than 100 feet per second while attacking. Just think, a 65-foot tractor-trailer traveling at close to 60 miles an hour covers only 88 feet per second, while Megalodon would be racing towards you faster, hungry, and with a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth.
Well, they could have easily sliced flesh with very little effort.
Running my finger along these, if this was a fresh tooth,
would have cut your fingers.
Just like a razor blade. Amazing.
Across the country, paleontologists like Kent are discovering shark fossils in the most unlikely places. Like here at Bear Gulch, Montana, almost 1,000 miles from the Pacific Ocean. Or here in an alligator-filled murky section of the Cooper River in South Carolina. Millions of years ago, all of this was part of the ocean, home to sharks of many sizes, shapes, and colors. Some might have even looked like very fierce underwater snakes. Others had strangely shaped bodies, and scientists think other prehistoric sharks may have even seemed to fly. But none of those other sharks were bigger or more ferocious than Megalodon, the one Kent respectfully calls Super Predator.
Could they still be out there deep in the ocean somewhere?
I don't believe so, because I think if they were, we'd have seen one by now.
If you believe in survival of the fittest, what happened to this? Surely the most fit of anything ever at sea.
I suspect they starved to death. There was simply not enough food to support a top carnivore.
Kent says Megalodon probably disappeared about 3 million years ago after great climatic changes wiped out most of the whales that Megalodon considered the catch of the day.
And when they went, Megalodon went with them. They kind of walked off the evolutionary dance floor together.
What's interesting and fascinating about all of this?
I think the thing that people like about Megalodon, even if they don't like sharks or if they're not interested in paleontology, it's just the concept of this fish that could have terrorized everything on the planet. This is the biggest, longest, meanest shark that ever lived.
If you haven't been scared off, you can see more about the Megalodon on the Discovery Channel. It's Shark Week, begins on Sunday.
And we couldn't even start Shark Week unless we would have a Shark Week on this broadcast. Wow. Those three stories were absolutely great. And they give me a break first. We had a very great Shark Week. So I know you're feeling scared right now, but when we return, I'm going to tell you about. We're going to give you a recap of what I said when I had Horse Voice. Basically, what I told you about when I had Horse Voice, all about school threats. And even then, there was more school threats happening here in the Coastal Bend. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you saw Monday's broadcast, you might have noticed I had Horse Voice. It's all right, nothing to be alarmed about. We got through the show. My voice is doing okay, and you know I still gotta take the process steps. I'm very sorry that y'all had to see that horse voice. But I'm telling you
24/7 to make sure that we investigate.
But I'm telling you right now, this is one of the first times ever on Evening Break on this broadcast where I had Horse Voice and wasn't afraid to get through the show, but we got through it. We got through it, and I had to talk less, even though I had to talk to y'all. So, really appreciate y'all sticking there for me, sticking around as we got through it. And to give you guys a quick recap of why I had Horse Voice, what we talked about was the sheriff of Florida. He was tired of all these school threats, and so you know what he did? He got on them saying, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to raise your child. I'm going to put a poster." Well, have him listen in.
Captain Todd Smith with us, who is oversees school security for the sheriff's office and partners with the school district. You know, this is absolutely out of control, and it ends now. 54 and counting tips came in to Fortify, Florida last night. Okay, that means investigators in the school district have been running around the clock to investigate these tips, which are all turning out to be false. So far, it's cost $21,000 to do these investigations. We have 2 in custody. We have an investigation looking at 1 other individual. So far this year, there have been 207 threats who have come in. We've arrested 7 people for written threats to kill. 1 student, if you remember, tried to bring a loaded firearm into a Mainland football game. We've had 11 weapons on our campuses this year. So what we're going to start doing Monday is, since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them. Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I can do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid so that everybody can see what your kid's up to. The second point of this is, if I can any way find out that a parent knew what was going on and wasn't doing anything, your is getting perp walked with them. The purpose of Fortify Florida is to send in tips that we're going to investigate because you believe something is going to happen. To keep sending in these tips over and over and over again and think it's a big joke and nothing's going to happen to it. Starting Monday, we're going to have a billboard, we're going to have a poster out. I'm going to show you every kid that's been arrested and where they go to school. And then from there on out, we're going to publicly shame them and their parents. So parents, do your job. Don't let Sheriff Chitwood raise your kids. This is absolutely ridiculous. Go talk to the families who have lost a loved one in a school shooting. These little knuckleheads think it's funny. Go talk to those parents and see how funny this is. It's not. We're going to come and get you and we're going to put you out for public embarrassment. And I know of a set of parents right now that they're looking at $11,000 each because somebody's paying this bill. Todd, you want to jump in there?
Yeah, so we're working around the clock
24/7 to make sure that we investigate every single one of these tips. Obviously, we've had a lot of them. We're working very hard to ensure that every stone is looked under and we're not missing anything, and that everyone is safe and all of our kids are safe. You know, Volusia County schools are very safe schools. We've got a lot of things in place to make our schools safe, between our fencing, our locked doors, our tip system, our content monitor. Everything that we do day in and day out is to keep our kids safe. But at the same time, we have to rely on the public to ensure that everybody is working towards the same mission. You know, the curriculum is built so that kids get their education based on the number of hours that they're in school. So if we're shutting down our schools to try to protect the kids because some kids made a false tip, it's interrupting their ability to learn. And we need to make sure that all of our kids are getting the education that they need and that they're getting it in a nice, safe, and secure environment. And right now, the kids themselves are making the chaos. So we need the parents to help us to bring that back together so that the kids can get the education that they deserve. We have the best security in the entire country in Volusia County. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Tell them about
Yeah, so we've been through multiple audits, and every time we've come out great. We're going through the Auditor General's audit right now. We're doing very well with that. You know, everybody should feel very comfortable with the job that we're doing and all of the things that we have in place. But the one key that we need help with is the kids and the parents working together to ensure that they can get the education that they deserve.
Guys, got anything?
Okay. Yes, right on. We had to hold parents accountable. Parents, you need to talk to your kids about this. And kids, listen good. You need your education. Education is key. I don't care if you don't want to go to school. I get it. You don't want to go to school. You better stay home and play Fortnite. I get it. But going to school is required by state law and federal law. I get it. And now here's more. Take a look at this.
A sheriff in Florida says he has had it with bogus school threats.
As Fox 26 reporter Rich Rodriguez explains, his new plan is to publicly shame every kid he arrests, as well as their parents.
Since parents, you don't want to raise your kids, I'm going to start raising them.
Volusia County, Florida Sheriff Mike Chitwood has been overwhelmed with school threats since school started 3 weeks ago. Friday was the tipping point.
In a 12-hour period, we had to investigate 54 tips that all turned out to be bogus that were sent by two little cherubs in middle school. And that cost us about $21,000 to overtime.
Friday, Sheriff Chitwood decided he would shame the people who make bogus threats and their parents. Carlo Dorelli was arrested for making threats. The 11-year-old was handcuffed and escorted to jail.
Every time we make an arrest, your kid's photo is going to be put out there. And if I could do it, I'm going to perp walk your kid so that everybody can see what your kid's up to.
I don't care how old they are. I want everybody to see them. I want everybody to know who they are. Here's what their charges are. Let the parents know that law enforcement isn't playing.
Sheriff's deputies confiscated fake rifles, pistols, ammunition, knives, and swords. Dorelli is in middle school. He will spend 21 days in jail before he has a court hearing.
He was very respectful, and he told the detectives everything. That, you know, he had the airsoft guns, it was a joke, he really didn't mean anything by it. But, you know, he's got a kill list. The bus driver's on there, school nurses on there, several classmates are on there.
So far, Sheriff Chitwood is getting good reviews from the community.
Parents are overwhelmingly supportive. It's the parents of the knuckleheads that are getting arrested that don't like the fact that public scrutiny is now going to be shifted to them.
The sheriff believes kids convicted of making school threats should be required to meet with families who lost loved ones in Parkland, Florida, and Uvalde, Texas.
Let them go and meet these families and see what's so damn funny, or what do you think you're accomplishing by shutting down a school and putting panic into the community?
Sheriff Chitwood hopes the kids arrested will have a scared straight moment during their 21 days in jail.
Yes!
Rich Rodriguez, Fox 26 News.
Yes!
And as we've been reporting,
Yes!
this isn't just happening.
Yes, that's exactly right. Scare them straight. That's exactly right. Well, I like this sheriff's idea. Hell, you'll come down to Corpus Christi, influence down the police chief, and be like, hey, you know, I had a great idea in Florida. Let's put this shit over here, and we'll scare these kids straight. Is it happening again? Well, you bet your ass it is. As I was scrolling through the Channel 3 news, as I was scrolling the Cage July, there were spikes in these school threats, and people are wondering, what the hell can we do to make sure that this shit does not happen again? Well, it's not just in Florida. It's here in this coastal bend. And the question you got to ask yourself is, what can I do to make sure it doesn't happen again? At the end of the story, we're going to give you some hints and tips for you parents out there, because, parents, it is your job to raise your child. I don't want to go drag the sheriff down from Florida and come over here to have you tell you, hey, you know, you're not doing a good job raising your kids, so I'm going to raise them. Because this is real. We've had school shootings, and no one's doing anything about it. So, how can we make sure it does not happen again? Here's Josh Maxwell.
For this school year, I would say the last few weeks we've kind of seen an uptick in it, and it's not just in our community as well. I've spoken with surrounding agencies and other outside of San Patricio County that's kind of seeing it as well.
Assistant Police Lieutenant Daniel Alcala highlighting a frightening pattern he is seeing locally and around the state with threats being made to school districts. He says San Patricio County is no exception.
We were contacted by Sit ISD, reference to posts that were being circulated around the high school in reference to mass shooting.
Alcala says he and his team quickly assessed the situation, and while he could not reveal any names, was able to pinpoint the alleged threat's location.
It was actually originating from a nearby school district. So out of precaution, we still kept officer presence at the Sit ISD campuses.
If you make a threat to a campus, in this climate especially, you're going to have serious consequences.
CCISD Police Chief Kirby Warnke says that while his district has not experienced any direct threats against the CCISD campus, he has seen
online vague allegations,
which in the age of social media can quickly get around.
Gone viral. I heard from someone who heard from someone else, and we're going to investigate him.
Warnke says that regardless of if a threat is vague or direct, those who are caught will know the fullest extent of the law.
A serious offense that could lead to arrest, fines, and other types of criminal penalties, not to mention school discipline.
Warnke says that if any student or faculty is aware of any threats or is concerned for their safety, they can call the department through their tip line. We'll have that number and a link to our story shortly at KIIITV.com. Brandon?
Okay. This is what needs to happen here. Parents, you're not doing a good job talking to your child. You need to talk to your child. If you don't do that, you're gonna be the one publicly shamed by your police department. Hell, you know what? I might as well go talk to the sheriff after this broadcast and tell him, hey, you need to come down to Corpus Christi and tell the same people here come down to Texas and start telling these people the same thing that you told the Florida community. We'll public shame them. We'll put them on social media. We'll put a big poster out and say, hey, you know, we'll blast the parents. We'll blast the child. We'll scare them straight. That's what needs to happen here. So, this sheriff in Florida is setting a good example in the Florida community. While here in the coastal bend community, we're a bad example. What do we need to do? We need to scare kids straight. Not just little kids, the teenagers. And so what do? Do we throw them in juvie? Maybe. Maybe we can do that. Do we scare them straight in jail? Yeah, I guess. Can we discipline them? No, because it may happen again. What parents need to do is to take away the phones. Take away the phones. Take away the social media. Take away the video games. Think about this. Years ago, there was a kid in Florida, right before this, there was a kid in Florida who was arrested for making a statement. This person was charged with computer crime in 5th degree. I mean, Zax. This was Zoom bombing. We focused on Zoom bombing years ago when we focused on the pandemic. Zax was a YouTuber who was charged with computer crime in the 5th degree, conspiracy to commit computer crime in the 5th degree, and breach of peace. He could face jail time, juvie, but because of his age, they couldn't talk to him. Dalton Barnhart. I think I have it here somewhere. There it is. Take a look at this.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people. And Falcon Warrior 920? Who's that? Okay. Go ahead and turn. Put your hands on your back. He's under arrest currently for making a threat to cause a mass shooting / act of terrorism.
Cause a mass shooting?
Yes. He made a statement, a written threat to plan or to carry out a mass shooting.
But he's just a little kid playing a video game.
And all these kids keep getting arrested. And that's why the FBI and the local law enforcement is spending so much time. Because how do we know he's not going to be the kid from Parkland? He's not going to be the next kid, the kid that shot up Sandy Hook. We don't know that. So when you will draw the attention to you by making these statements as they may be jokes, or, I mean, I wouldn't expect the kid to go, yeah, I'm dead serious, I'm going to go shoot everybody up. No, when they're caught, it's a joke. I didn't mean it, it's a joke. That's when you're caught.
But these games, these kids say stuff like that all the time. It is a joke to them. It's a game.
Guess what
wrong.
my time in law enforcement is spent doing? Is arresting these kids for making these statements all the time, and for stopping acts too, as well.
Okay.
So that's what our job is to make contact, because these kids think that it's a game or a joke, so they go ahead and make these comments.
But it's just a comment, so how is there an
There's
threat?
a Florida state statute that says you cannot make a written threat to cause a mass shooting, act, or kill or harm anybody else. The legislature has chosen to
Well, he
do
didn't
that.
cause or act or do anything, though.
He made the statement too.
The written statement.
It's a written statement. It's a written threat to kill or to make a mass shooting or act of terror. So if I get on there and say, I pledge ISIS and I'm going to blow everybody up, that's the same charge as, you know what, man, I'm fed up, I'm going to go to school tomorrow and shoot up my school. So he'll be going to DJJ.
What's that?
The juvenile jail. He'll be placed in there for several days. And we're going to go from there. The charge is a felony. It might be a 2nd or 3rd degree. I have to double check, because a written threat to harm somebody is a 3rd degree felony. 2nd degree is when you involve a mass shooting in a school or an act of terror.
He's a little boy. He didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Okay, well, he did what he did.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be treated as though he is a terrorist or something because he made a silly statement on a stupid video game.
Well, in a world where schools and kids are going to school to learn, they're getting shot and killed because people...
I understand that, but at the same token, I mean, you have to look at things case by case too. I mean, he's not that person.
Do you own a gun?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay, so he has hands and feet. He can grab your gun and go do something.
He would never do anything like that anyway.
We don't know. We don't know.
No, but I know. And I know.
Most parents have it, ma'am. We're going to take him. He's going to go to our operations center, and we will go from there. But this is where we're at. This is the world we live in, where people think it's funny to say, I'm going to go kill people at school.
Well, he's not people. He's a child.
Okay.
There's a difference. He's playing a video game and he's a boy.
And that's why he'll be charged as a juvenile.
Fortunately, these days and age, this is what happens. Kids do all these things, and they say this, and parents say, it's not my son, and then it might not be your son, but
I know it's
unfortunately,
not my son.
somebody's son does, and then this is the world we're in, where kids are getting shot at school while they're trying to learn. And
I understand that. I understand that. I understand
unfortunately,
that.
we can't take risks, and we can't say, all right, we trust that this one guy is not going to do it, and then it happens, and then we say, well, we had the chance
Yeah,
to
but
stop
I'm
it.
telling you right now, this is not my son. My son and I are like this, and it's just us husband, and it's not my son. He's a little boy still.
It's a tough situation. I know you're emotional.
He's high intellect and smart mouth.
Well, that's
And
what
you know
got him
what?
caught up.
The grown-ups on these games goad them into these things, which is what happened.
You need a roof over your head, food, and water. He doesn't need the games. Just
That's right, he doesn't.
You should take those away because these adults that are influencing may have done that in the past, but guess what? They're not in trouble today. He is because he made those statements. We can't put on what they've said in the past to give him justification why he said what he said, ma'am. He made the charge. He's going to face the consequences. Right? Let's go. Thank you.
Ma'am, can I have your first? I need your last name.
Okay. So now you get it. Don Barner. He was 15. He made the threat. So what does that tell you, boys and girls? That's a shining example right there to scare children straight. Florida state statute says, but you cannot make a threat. Well, nobody cares. All people care about, no one wants to go to school because, I'll tell you why. This is the reason why kids do not want to go to school. Take these away from your child. Or even better, they don't want to go to school, they'd rather go to work. If you cannot combine school and work, you need to choose one. If you drop out of school because you want to go to work, well, get your GED. You can't, if you want to go to school, go to school. You chose to get a job because you want to help mom and dad pay the bills. I get it. And I know I'm off subject here, but you have to understand, as parents, you need to talk to your child. If you do not talk to your child, then you know what's going to happen if you don't? This is what is going to happen if you don't. Therefore, you need to be understandable and say to yourself, I'm going to take everything this guy says and take it very seriously. Commando parenting. I would begin by stripping everything out of your child's room. Everything. He doesn't need a TV. He does not need an Xbox. He doesn't need a PlayStation or loads of clothes. No. What your child needs is a room with a bed, a pillow, and a blanket. That's it. 2 pairs of shirts, 2 pairs of socks, 1 pair of shoes. And look, I get you kids out there. You want to be, so cool and all. Like, I mean, your friends are telling you don't want to go to school. Don't listen to your friends. Your friends tell you to make a bomb threat. Do not listen to your friends. Don't listen to your friends. You're making friends at school and they tell you can make a bomb threat. Don't listen to your friends. Don't abide by your friends. Your parents listen kids, your mom and dad raised you to be a leader. No buts. No buts. Your parents raised you to be a leader, not a follower. And you want to follow by what your child's doing? I mean, I get it. You want to go to movies. You want to watch talk shows. You want to watch Jerry Springer, Steve Wilkos, all talk shows, even soap operas. I understand. But education is very important. If you don't go to school, you don't get your diploma. And then you have to go through the steps to get your GED, which can cost money. Here's the bottom line here. School is important, no threats. We'll be right back. Alright. You're being asked to leave, and yet you refuse to leave. So the manager calls the police on you, and you still refuse to leave. Tonight's body cam break is happening at McDonald's last year. 8 juveniles were arrested for refusal to leave after, because they were asked to leave. Take a look at this. This is when the manager told them to leave, and then didn't refuse. This guy's the manager right here. And as you can see, he told them, like, they won't leave, so I had to call you, this, and the third. And then, that's when the article.
From the manager, you just walked in, time to leave, or you're going to be subject to trespass and will be arrested. I gave you the warning before you came in, they didn't want you in here. Time to leave, folks. Time to leave. I'm not playing. Time to go. Time to go. One, two, six, four. I'm going to need more cars at McDonald's. Okay, why yell, man? I'm telling you to go. All right? You don't want to go? You want to give me a hard time? No problem. You want to give me a hard time? Because how many times did I say time to go? How much is that? How many times? If you don't start leaving, my handcuffs are coming on. First person I grab's going. You already ordered? Come over here. You have a ticket? What about you? You have a ticket? Alright. Just come over here, guys, okay? Inside of McDonald's. The manager wants the place put out. I got about 15 minutes just staring at it. No, time to go. I know you just didn't say what I think you said. It's time to go. I'm not playing around now. Listen, from the manager, he wants everybody out. Okay? So you either start leaving, I'm telling you that. Okay? I already talked to the manager. So you either start leaving, or we're going to start locking people up. We have other people here. Alright, time to go. Time to go. All the first name is? Time to go. What? I know why. Huh? I know why. Because there's one everybody in here. So we not going to stay here. We're kicking everybody out. We've got more cars coming. So get them out right now. I'm talking to you. So you're dead right. Yep. Time to go. Yeah. So you're dead right. So you're dead. What is it? So you're dead. All right. That's what it is. Go. Time to go. You're not going back in. Yo, who is you touching, bro? I'm touching you. You're not going back in. Time to go. Go. That's my little brother's coming with him too, alright? My little brother's coming to my cousin. No, he's not. That's my little brother. You're about to go. He's not coming in. He's not coming in. The fuck? You're not coming in. Niggas, what the fuck? Yeah, dog, you niggas can't touch niggas while no problem. Nigga, what are you gonna do about it? Nigga, we're gonna lock you up. You're gonna get locked up. You're gonna get locked up. For what? You're about to get locked up. Nigga, he's not just saying get my food, nigga. That dog, nigga, I've been locked up, nigga. I know my rights, nigga. Watch your fucking mouth, nigga. Time to go. You niggas can't touch no one, nigga. That's my dead dogs, nigga. Suck my fucking dick, pussy. Bitch ass, nigga. No, you can't arrest me, nigga. I can say whatever the fuck I want, nigga. You niggas pussy, nigga. That's my dead dog, you bitch, nigga. You just gonna keep looking and not talk, nigga. Suck my fucking dick. Yep. Last time, all the cruisers in the city are coming. If you're not saying Darby, you're standing, time to go. You're under arrest. What? You're under arrest. You're under arrest.
fucking wrong with you, bro? Down there on the ground. Oh, I said, fuck. What the fuck, nigga? What the fuck, nigga? What the fuck, nigga? Yo, get off me, nigga. Yo, get off me, nigga. Yo, get off me, nigga. Get off me, nigga. Yo, get off me, nigga. Get the fuck off me, nigga. Get off my fucking neck, nigga. Get the fuck off me, nigga. Get the fuck off my neck, nigga. The fucking line, nigga. Nigga, I'm good. Ross, hey, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga? The fuck is wrong with this nigga, bro? It's not even for no reason to shot some fuck you up. The fuck is wrong with you, nigga? The fuck is wrong with you? Send some water crazy, nigga. Stand up, nigga. The fuck, nigga? Bro, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga, bro? They're all recording. Bro, can I stand up? I'm good.
Go, we'll get in the car. Me? I gotta go over there.
For what?
You sit?
For what? What am I going where for?
Dude, I told you numerous times, did I not?
Told me what?
Where your AirPods?
Can I walk with you to pick up my AirPods?
Yeah, you got AirPods?
Yeah. Niggas are not even funny. I told you I'm just standing up.
Dude, you were told to leave numerous times. I told you to leave. I told you don't come back in the store. I told you not to come back in, and then you came back in.
I don't get to eat shit all day. I'm hungry. I'm gonna get food if I need to get food, bro. It's like that. I don't
Why
care.
you have lunch at school?
Yeah, I don't eat that lunch, nigga. It's not good.
Okay, so that's your
Shit.
fault.
You know, I get it. I get it. You don't want to eat that school lunch? I understand. I understand. This was, I mean, all these kids out there are going to McDonald's because they hate the school lunch. It was actually on the news. Let's take a look at this.
Fall River Police have just released body camera footage right here of an incident involving multiple teenagers at a McDonald's. It's an update to a story we first reported on 12 News at 10 last night. A manager called police to the President Avenue location yesterday afternoon because some of the teens were allegedly causing a ruckus and not ordering food. Body camera footage right here shows several of them ignoring an officer's request for them to leave. Video shows one teen was taken into custody inside the McDonald's and another was arrested outside.
Time to leave. I'm not playing. Time to go. Time to go. If you don't start leaving, my handcuffs are coming on. First person I grab's going. You're under arrest.
What?
You're under arrest.
What the f*** wrong with you, bro? Down there on the ground.
The teenager you just saw told officers he just wanted to get food because he does not eat the food at school. Body camera footage also shows officers arresting one girl who they say refused to leave. Now, they're seen pushing her against the wall and handcuffing her. 8 teens were charged with trespassing. Some of them were also charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and disturbing the peace. One teen is also charged with assault and battery on a police officer.
You know, I get it. You don't want to eat the school lunch? I get it. You don't want to eat the school lunch? I understand. I know you don't like, let me tell you something. If you eat a lunch at home, you bring lunch. If you eat at home, you bring lunch from home. No excuses. You don't sneak out of school and go to McDonald's because you're freaking hungry. I understand. I know what you guys are doing. I know where you guys are coming from. Y'all gotta understand this. If you don't eat the school lunch, you're wasting it. Then you're just not supporting your school system. I love the school lunch. I sometimes eat at home. But what you also have to understand here is this. That if you're in school, you eat lunch at school. I mean, where I go to school, we had a Domino's and there's a Domino's and a taco stand right across the street. And they just go and just get in the people get in the cars going to freaking McDonald's or Whataburger, Burger King. Nowadays, just go to DoorDash and get it delivered, not knowing that there could be weapons in there. So here's the bottom line for you kids out there. If you eat the school lunch, you won't have a hard time. Try to be reasonable and say to yourself, if I don't like the school lunch, that's what my dad told me. If you don't like it, don't eat it. If you eat at home, bring a lunchbox. It's just that simple. Just bring a lunchbox. So you trespassers out there need to learn your lesson. If they tell you to leave, leave. If you refuse to leave, they can call the police and you can be arrested for trespassing or disorderly conduct. That's what can happen in every community that you live in. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Wednesday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Friday. For all of us here at YouTube, give me a break. Stop bullying, speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Have a good night.